Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Well, poppin' tops, people. It is Brewsday Tuesday. Brought to you by the Southern Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. And this is going to be an interesting show. We're deviating a little bit off of the craft beer usual because I was walking around in the Kroger's and I happened to see that there is a new display that caught my eye. They now have hard Mountain Dew, Nate.
It was only a matter of time. I feel like Mountain Dew kind of tries to do anything they can to make it stick. And this one actually like doesn't seem that far of a leap for me because Mountain Dew was originally made as a mixer for moonshine.
That's correct.
So this seems like almost like a back to the roots thing, but I'm very intrigued. Like right now it smells like Taco Bell in here.
Yeah, so it smells like Taco Bell because Nate popped the Baja Blast, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a
Taco Bell exclusive.
Originally exclusive. Now I think you can buy it in the stores.
It's not as good in the cans, which I feel like you kind of run into with beer, soda, anytime. It's not as good. You have to go straight to the source, the Taco Bell. But I'm also intrigued by this because it says right on the side of the can, no caffeine.
Yeah, so caffeine free. Zero sugar as well. 5% by volume. 21 old and older, because they don't want the little kids accidentally drinking this one. But you're right. I mean, did I say 100 calories? Not too bad. Yeah, the kids be drinking this mainly because that was the thing about Mountain Dew was the caffeine. It had the highest caffeine of like all the normal sodas until Surge came around and like was essentially Mountain Dew on steroids, if I remember correctly.
So like they reissued Surge recently and it wasn't very good. Like they followed the original formula and I remember thinking like, yeah, Mountain Dew's definitely better.
Yeah. It might have just also been you have it, taste buds change over time. We know this, but also when you're a kid, your taste buds were probably a little bit less refined, let's put it that way. And you probably have a better memory of the actual taste rather than was it actually good or did you just drink it because it was cool kind of a thing? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fair, but like it didn't hold on for very long. And then now like it's like a nostalgic reissue. So I do think that it's possible that it just never tasted good.
Okay. So I don't drink soda really anymore. I did like Mountain Dew when I was younger. Diet Mountain Dew was kind of purchased a lot in our house. I loved the Code Red when that one came out. Code Red was my jam for a while. And I still probably would enjoy a good Code Red every now and then.
Absolutely.
Used to get them in the liter, That being said, this is going down real quick. It seemed like it was really carbonated at first when I poured it, but now I see less bubbles. But
mine's more or less flat. Yeah.
I guess what I was getting at was I can't quite recall exactly what Mountain Dew tasted like. I'm pretty sure this is similar, but I do think I'd be able to tell the difference between the hard Mountain Dew and just regular soda.
So before I discovered my love affair with Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew was my go-to, particularly Code Red. I really loved Live Wire, which is their orange version. I'm a little disappointed they didn't roll out an orange version of this hard Mountain Dew. But like OG Mountain Dew, that was like, which is really bad. Thankfully, I've never had a cavity. I've never had to have a filling, but like I had a really unhealthy soda habit, kind of still do. And Mountain Dew always kind of hit that sweet spot. And still to this day, like occasionally I'll change it up, throw Mountain Dew in there. This tastes exactly like Baja Blast should taste, which I feel like is incredibly irresponsible.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we just opened up the mics and popped this, and this is already granted we pour half the can so that we can each try it, but mine's gone. Like this is extremely tasty and and it goes down a little too easy. You're right.
The only change I think I would make, which is wild that we're having this discussion, is I'm not a big fan of sugar free. Like, it leaves a weird aftertaste.
Oh.
Like, I would like to see them do a full sugar version of this.
I was going to ask you about that because you said that, you sort of have you still drink soda. I remember it came up at one point that your wife jokes that you have a Coke problem. Those I'm assuming are OG Coca-Cola Classic. You don't do the diet. You don't do the Coke Zero. So, and I know that both of those are sugar free. If I remember correctly, the difference between Diet Coke and Coke Zero is that the Coke Zero is based on the Coca-Cola Classic recipe, whereas Diet Coke was
New
its
Coke.
own. Yeah, exactly. New Coke, separate recipe, a different thing. See, I tend to prefer the diet and the fake sugar stuff. I think it's just because that's what I was raised on. We always had it was Diet Pepsi, Diet Mountain Dew. That's what we had in my house. I think that the long term, actually by now they should have studies, but pretty sure the fake sugar is actually probably worse for you than normal sugar. I think they've come to that determination.
It's not good for your kidneys or your liver, which if
this is a double whammy.
If I'm gonna drink, like, we got to protect that liver.
Yeah. So, but that being said, man, I kind of prefer. I like I said, I guess I've just maybe I'm so used to it, but the zero sugar, this tasting pretty good and going down.
Yeah,
really
and I
easy.
mean it's not entirely off-putting. It's just something that I don't necessarily prefer, and kind of when you drink it and you get that initial taste, this is just like Baja Blast, like spot on the money. There's no caffeine, no sugar, but there is 5% ABV, so there is some fun to be had.
Getting back to the diet thing, though, one thing that I do think about when it comes to diet colas, and another reason why I prefer them is I've come to find that they mix better. For whatever reason, I feel like if I always would get, a bourbon and diet, rum and diet, that was my go-to. Remember we did the rum show and we mixed the Captain, and it needs to be diet. I've done it with regular and it doesn't work. It doesn't give it that same taste. So I think that diets work for better if you're making a mixed drink or, cocktail.
Also, bang for your buck. Your body metabolizes it differently. So if you've got that zero sugar, it's not going to sober you up. Whereas if you've got full sugar, Coca-Cola, whatever you're drinking, it will kind of counteract the effect of the alcohol a little bit. It's not enough to like make a huge difference, but
and not only that, but I mean, to go with the sugar thing, I know we brought it up when we were doing the mead and all that. Too much sugar just exemplifies your hangover too. It makes your headache worse. So in theory, I guess maybe it helps in that regard as well. Not too sure, but
that, you know what, that would be a good like scientific test for a later episode of Brewsday Tuesday. Is
we have to measure it appropriately.
Hangover Wednesday.
Yeah, a hangover show, and we'll get back to you. It'll take a couple weeks to get our scientific data all analyzed, but so yeah, man. Off the first bat, I'm drinking like the OG regular, like just green Mountain Dew flavor, and it tastes great. Like I said, it's already gone. I could easily drink this. You could, like I said, I'm sure you could taste the difference, but you don't really taste the alcohol at all. That's an easy drinker. Like you said, it could be a little bit risky, perhaps. Definitely keep it out of the hands of the kids. If this was around when I was younger, man, because I didn't like
that would have been what I was thinking.
I didn't like beer when I was a kid. Closest thing I guess we had was like Mike's Hard Lemonade, and those were super sweet, so ridiculous. But I digress, man. I'm not too sure if this is even on Untapped, but that's how we usually rate our beers. I know this isn't quite a beer. It's not even really a seltzer. It's a hard soda, I guess. But DreZ Drinks is my handle on there. Big Nate Danger sits across from me. Man, I'd be hard pressed to do it, but I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't feel right giving it a 5, but
your brain's going the same way mine is.
It's pretty damn good and easy drinker. I mean, the ABV could be a higher, I guess. I mean, I usually, kind of stick my nose up at something that's just 5%, but I wouldn't expect it to be any higher than that. I don't think I can't give it a 5, but I'll give it a 4.75. I mean, this is It's pretty damn tasty.
So yeah, I mean, you're kind of exactly where I am. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start with this edgy can. Like they're definitely appealing
Oh
to
yeah, I
to a
haven't
certain crowd. Like I've got a
Eagle
shark
on
on mine. You've
mine.
got an eagle, and of course I got that 21 plus, which I feel like is kind of like the explicit content warning label on like CDs and records.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Parental
almost like
advisory.
makes it way cooler.
Yeah.
Like I feel cool drinking this.
You don't see that on beers 21 plus.
So I'm going to do this, and I'm ranking this based on my favorite Mountain Dew flavors and their comparisons, because that's the only fair way to do it, because that's really the only metric I've got here. I will go ahead and give this Baja Blast a 5.
Wow. There you go, man. If you see it in the grocery store, maybe grab yourself the hard Mountain Dew variety pack, which, yes, there are other flavors. We might need to give them a try. I'm not so sure about them, but we'll see.
I'm not as excited.
We'll see. We'll take a quick break. We'll play a tune and we'll come back with more Brewsday Tuesday. Stick around.